Hi, everyone. Welcome to Within the Cauldron and Behind the Witch's Veil. I'm here with my beautiful co hosts, Chrissy Dunham and Amy Reynolds. And we have a very special guest today, straight from Key West, Dan Radomski from the Key West Museum. Dan has agreed to come on and talk to us about some spooky stories of Key West. And if you all remember, we had Dan on before, and we talked about his special guest in the museum, and that's Robert the Doll. So if you haven't seen that episode, please go back and watch it. I highly encourage you. And let's give a great welcome to Dan. Hi, Dan. Thank you for coming on today.
Hi, Dan.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me again. Glad to talk to you. Hope you guys are doing well.
It's a pleasure to have you again. I mean, we like you. We love you. You're one of the family.
Great. Yeah, always down to talk about spooky stuff. Goes paranormal in general. Yeah, always get a kick out of it.
We're just going to kind of let you take over the whole podcast and just talk about your spooky stories. We do have some videos and pictures that we can show as well. Just let me know when you want us to show them, and we will. But we just go ahead and have you start it off.
Sure. Yeah. Key West is recognized as one of the most haunted cities in the country. These places always tend to be surrounded by water too. Like you think of New Orleans, Charleston, Key West, and like the idea is that the water holds that energy there, right? And Key West is a perfect example of it. And throughout its history, people have had paranormal experiences on this island, dating back to when the settlers arrived here back in the 1500s. Do you even know why they even call it Key West? Do you guys know that story?
No, go ahead and tell us. I'm curious too.
It's interesting. So the Spanish got here in the 1500s. Ponce de Leon's voyages ended up discovering the Keys. When they got to the island, they found all these human bones scattered all over the place along the beaches. The Spanish realized that the native tribes that were down in the Keys, mainly the Calusa tribe, the Calusa would practice water burial. So they would bring their bodies down, the bodies of their dead Calusa members, down to Key West, and they would sort of just leave them on the beaches, like stake them into the surf, and just kind of like let the ocean kind of take over them. So the Spanish got here, they found all these bones all over the place. They named the island Cayo Hueso, which translates to like Bone Island. And then over the years, Cayo Hueso was Americanized. Cayo eventually became Key, and Hueso became West. Like the whole reason we even call this place Key West has all to do with these native bones that are found here. And then over the years, those bones were incorporated with the land, right? So this is like the start of every horror movie you've ever seen. Like we're over these native bones. And so places all along the island, they're filled with stories of the paranormal. And we can get into like some specifically if you guys would like specific locations down here.
Sure.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
The tour that I run every night is just at Fort East Martello. So we focus on that there. There's dozens of places around the island. One of my favorites is Captain Tony's. Are you guys familiar with Captain Tony's? I forget. Have you guys visited the island before? I forget if I asked you that last time.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I don't know. Christy?
We was close by there where we didn't go into the Key West.
I've been to Florida multiple times. I just never been to Key West.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been to Florida too, but no.
If you ever get the chance, it's such a funky place. I think you guys would really enjoy checking it out. One of my favorite funky places is this bar called Captain Tony's Saloon. The story of Captain Tony it's a whole other conversation. But the building that the bar is in it was built in the 1850s, and first it was the town's morgue.
Oh wow!
And it's a weird layout of the building. Some of the ground is lower than the rest of the bar. They used to put ice blocks down, and they would put like people's bodies on the ice and put more ice over them. There's a tree that grows through the center of the bar that used to be the town's hanging tree.
Oh.
And when you go in there, you can. It's hard to put into words, but you can just feel it. You feel that that energy that's left over in there. The more well-known spirit that people encounter in there is the spirit of they call her the Blue Lady, And the story is that this woman was accused of murdering her husband.
Ooh.
And so like a town mob formed, and they took this lady out of her home, took her to that hanging tree where she was executed.
Oh
And
my gosh.
she was wearing a blue gown. And now people in that bar, they see like a blue mist go by them, or like they see like a woman crying, and people believe it to be the spirit of the blue lady.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
that one is it's such a strange place in there.
Well, you probably
Very
have a lot. Probably have a lot of the hauntings from the bodies that were on ice too. I mean, are there other shadow
yeah
figures that occur with that as well?
yeah. There's a few stories in there where the pool room is now, like their billiards table. You can see in the wall towards the bottom, there's all these old glass bottles in there. And the former owner of the bar filled up these glass bottles with holy water and like stuck them in the wall. Just sort of like, to cleanse the energy in there, kind of ward off
Right.
anything negative. But just like the more notable points of history of the island have led to there being ghost stories about it. I could tell you about the wreckers. Are you familiar with that at all? The story of the
Mm-mm.
wreckers down here.
No.
So this
This is
this
so
is
much
really
fun.
what put Key West on the map financially back in the 1800s. Around the island, a lot of coral reef, very treacherous for ships, especially like importing and exporting goods. People aren't familiar with the waters. They would often wreck themselves around the reef. And Key West became this important port city back in the 1850s, 1860s. And ships were wrecking themselves so much that a whole industry popped up behind it. And they called themselves the wreckers. So people would literally like build towers on top of their house, like just look out and hope that a ship would wreck. They would see one wreck, they would ring a bell, and this call would go out over the town. And the wreckers would race to the ocean, like hop on their little dinghies, row out, and they would try to salvage whatever they could from the ships that wrecked out there. But a lot of these wrecks, like they were more concerned about salvaging the goods rather than like
Yeah.
saving the people that are out there. So a lot of the goods that were found out there were sort of ill-gotten. A lot of the things they had attachments to them, people that died on those wrecks. So the island is littered. There's a lot of the artifacts are still in people's homes.
Oh
There's
wow.
museums dedicated to it. One of them is it's called the Shipwreck Museum. It's a pretty famous one down here. The warehouse used to belong to one of the more wealthier wreckers. His name was Asa Tift. Asa Tift made a fortune down here. I think in the 1850s and 60s, Key West was the richest city per capita in the United States.
Wow.
Like solely because of the goods that they were salvaging from these wrecks out there. And people have experiences in that museum. Just everything is in there is from like the 1840s and 50s. This kind of bleeds into another more specific story about Asa Tift. Asa Tift built this mansion. It's now the Hemingway Museum. Ernest Hemingway ended up buying his mansion in the 1930s or 40s when he came to the Keys.
Oh wow.
So now that people know it as Hemingway's home, but it was originally Asa Tift's house. Asa Tift, him and most of his family died in there of yellow fever.
Oh.
So people have experiences in there that they don't offer like ghost tours or anything, and the main focus is it's Hemingway's time in that house. But the staff there, I've talked to them, and they report hearing like a little girl cry or like seeing small apparitions go by them. And I believe it to be the spirits of the Tift family that are still lingering around in there. And like yellow fever is just such a vicious way to die. A disease that they really didn't understand or like how to treat it, like what was spreading it. And I feel like that's why they're still there. And places that are haunted, places that have seen a lot of suffering and death, a lot of that energy gets left over in it. And that Hemingway Museum, yeah, you can just like Captain Tony, you can feel it in there. It's just a little off, just a little strange in that place. Asa Tift's fascinating story. He had really strong ties to the Confederacy and he ended up designing warships for the Confederates during the Civil War. It's just so bizarre. There's dozens of ghost stories you can talk about. There's another famous one about a wrecker, Captain John Geiger, and his estate is now called the Audubon Museum.
Oh,
And it's a house museum that you can go and visit and like take the tour of the home and see how people lived back in the 1850s, 60s. Captain Geiger, he was a very successful wrecker as well. He made a ton of money. A similar story, a few of his family members died of illness, and he died in that house as well. And the staff there has experiences. They think it's Captain Geiger hanging around, and some of his kids are still in that building.
that's incredible. There's a lot that's going on. I was going to ask you too, backing up a little bit too, Dan, do you find that when you were talking about where the wrecks have occurred, are there perceived hauntings there as well by chance, or were the wreckers?
They're pretty far offshore.
Oh, it is.
The
Okay.
reef. Yeah. The reef, like a few miles off the coast, where they would wreck themselves. Last year, we were working with a sailing company called the Schooner America, and we were doing ghost sails. And
Now that would be cool.
Yeah, we would cruise around and we would tell the stories of the wreckers and talk about some of the experiences that they had out there. Yeah, it's funky.
That's a different way of doing it. I could see that being really fun. Not only are you out in the elements, but you also get to hear some great ghost stories going on. So, what a great concept!
Yes, it was cool. It was more like a talk, like a paranormal talk, rather than like an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be cool to go out there like on your own little boat and go bring some equipment and see if you could have anything happen out there. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it would be cool to go out there, because I know if it's not on land, you said it's far out. So I wonder if anybody has that experience on their own shipping boat when they go out there,
Right.
That area, if they have any kind of paranormal experience going on from the ocean, from just that spot.
Right. That's what I was wondering too.
There's one story I can share with you, and this goes back to the bar I mentioned earlier, Captain Tony's.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So this is literally Captain Tony's story. This is going to be lengthy a little bit. I'll start from the beginning. So this guy, Captain Tony, Tony Terracino, he ended up in the Keys in the 1940s. He showed up down here after he was left for dead by the mob in New Jersey. He was like stealing race results, and like they caught him doing it, and like they beat him up and like left him in a pile of trash, and they thought that he killed him, but he survived, and so he like fled. He fled the state, ended up in Key West, and became a fisherman. That was like his first job that he landed. And this is where the story. It's called The Story of the Third Man, and this is like a sailing tradition. People out on boats, especially if they sail overnight, when they eat or drink, they'll leave a portion out for the third man, and the third man is a representation of souls that were lost at sea, like sailors, kind of like an offering to them. Mm-hmm. But some people like quite literally think that the third man is with you, and they are looking out for you, especially if you offer them something. So Captain Tony starts working for this older fishing captain who'd been working down here for years, and that captain would always leave out a portion for the third man, and like Captain Tony never understood it, and he would like make fun of him a lot for it. But then one night, it's just him and the captain on their fishing boat, and they have dinner. They leave out a portion for the third man. Captain Tony makes fun of him again, and then they walk out of the galley, and here comes this horrifying squall. Like this storm is coming upon them, like thunder, lightning, the ocean's getting rough. And then within a couple of minutes, they're like in the middle of a storm. And like the waves are crashing over them. It's like chaotic. Mm-hmm. The captain gets to the wheel and he's trying to get them back on shore. Captain Tony's on the deck, like securing everything. And then this big wave comes over, knocks Tony off of his feet, and he's heading toward the railing of the ship, and he's going to like get lost in the ocean. And before he goes in, he feels somebody grab him by the arm, like grab him by his neck and shoulder, and sort of pull him back up. And Tony stands up, gets to his feet, looks around for the captain, sees that he's still at the wheel, that he wasn't anywhere near him. And then Tony like forever thought that it was the third man that just saved his life out there. And
That's
then he got back to shore, quit that job, and never became. He never was a fisherman again professionally. Yeah. After that, he ended up buying the bar, what's now called Captain Tony's. It was originally called Sloppy Joe's, and it's where Hemingway loved to hang out.
I was going to say,
Hemingway's, yeah.
I remember hearing Sloppy Joe's, yeah, for sure.
But the landlord there raised up the rent on the owner, Joe Russell, and so he took all of his stuff and left and bought the bar around the corner. So the original one sat there empty for a while, but eventually Tony Terracino bought it, and that was like the rest of his life. He became very successful. He ended up being the mayor of Key West a couple of times.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, did the mob ever catch up with him after that? Or did they just leave him alone after that?
Yeah, it turned into this crazy success story.
Wow, that's awesome.
He's a really well-known, eccentric character down here. He died quite some time ago, probably like 20 years ago. But his whole life he would hang out at the bar and he would just like talk to people. And he was like quite raunchy, and he would like make fun of you and stuff. And he would like sit there and smoke cigarettes, and people would love him. And he would come in and see Captain Tony, and he would tell people this story every now and then of the third man and how he saved his life out there.
Wow.
So he became a believer at that point, I would hope. Good. That's awesome.
And he was interested in the paranormal as well. He would always talk about the blue lady that people would see in his bar. And he filled his bar with an eclectic collection of there's a real skeleton hung up in there behind the bar.
Oh, you're kidding.
Which I think it might have been like a medical school kind of thing that he got a hold of. But he has the skeleton there.
Just a little creepy.
He has this glass,
exactly.
He has this
I don't know if
jar.
I'm going to the bar.
Oh yeah, you can see it. It's
oh yeah.
It's straight out of a pirate movie.
You would love it. I would be like, I don't know about this, you know?
Yeah, it's very dimly lit.
You would be.
Over here.
Your best friend to the
I'll be
skeleton.
making friends with this. Hey, how's hanging?
You don't even know who the skeleton is, and you're becoming best friends with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, even just the building, it's like a little off center.
Yeah.
And you could tell how old it is in there. It's like the perfect place for it. He has a glass jar hanging over the bar, and the jar was used in the Johnstown massacre.
Oh,
like the Kool-Aid thing.
Kool-Aid, yeah, right.
And he has one of those jars that like actually had the Kool-Aid in it. Like,
oh my gosh!
In there.
Like energy that jar has.
Yes.
Yeah. Normal activity carries a lot of energy in the imprint of the activity.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was gonna say that's a lot of activity in that one little jar. Wow.
You'll see some walking ghost tours stop in there, and they'll like the bar crawl ghost tour kind of thing. Like they go in there and talk about it. I don't know if anybody's ever done like a real full-on investigation in there. I would be so interested in trying that out and see what you could capture in there.
Bucket list item. Okay, girls, we got to put that down. We got to go.
I was just going to ask you.
You need to go to Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a real ghost hunting destination down here. It's there's a lot to check out.
We will be calling you, Dan. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be
right.
Taking out for
whenever you guys would like to come. Yeah, come check out the fort. We also offer one at the Firehouse Museum. Did I tell you about that last time?
I think you touched on it briefly, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Right now we offer it on Tuesday and Friday nights. It's the old firehouse in Key West. The building is from the very early 1900s, and there's a few stories associated with it. The more notable one is the story of Bum Fardo. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. This guy Bum Fardo, he was the fire chief in the 1950s and 60s, and he got caught smuggling drugs in from other countries, like mostly Cuba. Like he was like smuggling drugs to and from. And so he got busted, and he had a court date in Miami. So one morning he leaves from Key West, goes to Miami. He never made it. Nobody knew what happened to him on his way to his court date. They don't know if he like hopped on a boat and escaped and like went to fled to some other country, or like the mob intercepted him and like killed him. Like nobody knows what happened.
We'll just flee.
But they have a lot
Mhm.
of his personal belongings up there in that museum in his old office.
Wow.
His old cigars and like his old jacket and glasses.
Mhm.
And the guys that work there, they hear stuff up there, and a lot of them think it's Bumfardo.
Huh.
Anecdotally, I've gotten some cool evidence up there that makes me think that he's around.
It's him.
A year ago, one of the local grade schools down here asked us if we could bring the kids in for a ghost hunt on Halloween.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
We're like,
That's
are
like-
you sure? Like, are you sure? They're like, yes, like they want to do it. So we took them in. It was just during the day, and I had a group of like 5-6 kids up in Bumfardo's office, and we're sitting around a table, and they already hated it. It was like, it's dark and creepy in there. It was more intense than they anticipated. So we're sitting around this table, and we have a spirit box in the middle of us, and I asked out loud, can anybody tell us what happened to the old fire chief,
Oh, no.
Bumfardo?
Here we are. Okay.
Over the spirit box, clear as day, it said, "We iced him." And like I was like shocked, like jaw dropped, like, oh my God.
We iced him. Wow.
And the kids were freaking out. They kind of understood the story too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's the energy's much lighter in there than the fort, but we have a lot of activity in the firehouse. Definitely cool to see too if you guys come and visit.
Oh, we would love to. We would love to do that. That'd be awesome.
Too.
So,
A rich history too.
right. So the kids, did they freak out after hearing that?
They lost it. Yeah. About a week later, we had to call one of the kids. Their teacher was like, they can't sleep.
I was just going to say, how traumatic was that to them?
They asked for it though. We were like, "Are you sure?" They're like, "Yes." Scare them, rile them up.
Oh, that's hilarious. And then one of the kids couldn't sleep at night. I would see that. I could totally see that.
Yeah, we had to give them a call and kind of talk them down a little bit.
Tradition that spirit may follow your child home from his soul.
Yeah. Well, that would be like Robert the doll.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want to get into the photos and then the couple of videos I sent you,
Okay.
I'm going to talk about those a little bit since you mentioned Robert.
Okay. Here's one that we have.
Yeah, this one's great. This one was a couple of months ago. Somebody left us a review, and in the background of the picture that they took, they get a figure in between me and that guy, in between in the archway there. The other photo I sent you is like a zoomed in image of it.
I don't know if I can zoom in or not. Probably. And if I made it bigger, I can see it on my side if you make
I think
your screen.
one of the images I sent you was the zoomed in picture of it.
Oh.
Let me see. Let me escape this one out. Okay, here's
Yeah, because you can kind of see it.
another one.
Oh, there you go.
Now,
Oh, yeah. Now you see it. Clear as day.
yes.
Yeah, you can make it like the head and shoulders
Right.
easily.
Yeah.
In a weird form, but where we're standing in there is called the Citadel. It's the central tower of the fortress, and that's where a lot of the treatment had to take place in the 1860s for yellow fever victims that were in there.
Got it.
That's one of the more active places in that fort. Very somber,
That's incredible.
very heavy in there.
Like, imagine
It's where we have a lot of success with our equipment. We got great responses over the spirit box and really good dowsing pendulum sessions in there. And yeah, and this I always encourage people when they're in, take a ton of photos and videos, because you never know when you're gonna capture something.
Right.
True.
And this is a pretty good example. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get in there.
What were you going to say, Amy?
I said, just like imagining how many people passed away there.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any idea of how many people died of yellow fever in Key West?
Not an exact the whole island. Well, back in the 1860s, there was only a few thousand people living here, but hundreds of them died of yellow fever. So it was a good percentage of the population.
Yeah, that's what I was
And everybody
wondering.
downtown kind of lived on top of one another. So it just spread, and they didn't really know what was spreading it. Like
Mm-hmm.
years later, until they found out like mosquitoes were a big problem. Like
Mm-hmm.
bite one person, spread it to somebody else. And they didn't really quite understand it. But yeah, quite like a couple hundred people probably died in that
Wow.
building at
That's
the fort.
crazy. Unbelievable.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's a video now.
What state are you from? How did you?
Okay, we're gonna
I'm
do
not
it
sure how clear that came across, but the question that's asked at the
one more
beginning,
time,
this is
Dan.
also in the Citadel. The question beginning, this is my coworker that recorded the video, David. David asked, "Can you tell me what state you are from?"
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, a very clear Connecticut comes through.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure how clear the audio is and like how we're playing it here.
Let's try again.
Yeah.
It's all the way up. So
What state are you from? How did you?
It's hard to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's gonna. Yeah, I'm not sure if you'll pick up on it like that.
go ahead. Let's go on to the next one here too.
Oh, this is my favorite one. Let me set this one up a little bit. This is actually how I started to work at the museum. This was recorded on Halloween in 2020.
Oh,
on
wow.
Halloween night. It was the first time that I went there. I had moved to Key West that summer in 2020 from Philadelphia, and I was living here for a few weeks, and I saw an advertisement for an investigation at the fort on Halloween. So I went to check it out, and out in the courtyard of the fortress, there's a spot they had marked off, and the story is it's where an Irish soldier fell to his death from the scaffolding as they were building the fort. So they had this place marked off, and I go over there and I just use my cell phone. I encourage people to do this. Your cell phones have pretty sensitive microphones in them now. Like they're really good for audio evidence.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over, asked a couple of questions. One of them that I asked was, can anybody tell me where they're from? And at the end of the video, you hear, "I'm from Boston."
Oh, wow.
So we'll see if we'll be able to hear it on here.
Okay.
It's at the very. I clipped it down a little bit so I could fit it in as an attachment.
Let's
So
start
at
over
the last 3 seconds is where you'll start to hear it. Can you tell us your name? Can you tell us where you're from?
You can like slightly hear it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Yeah, ever so slightly.
but that is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's not as clear as it sounds on my phone. But yeah, so that was a super fitting response though. Like a lot of the soldiers were from northern cities, like Philly, New York, and Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and they were sent down to Key West. And that one blew my mind. So I showed it to the owner of the tour, David, and I
Mhm.
hit it off with him, and then I started working there shortly after.
Oh, wow. That's a great story.
Right.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of Irish in Boston, so that makes sense, you know?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's why a lot of them still linger down there. A lot of the soldiers in the Union were immigrants. People left here to specifically come fight in the Civil War. It was
Mhm.
an easier way for them to earn a steadier paycheck, and they could send money back to Europe to like bring their family here.
Yeah.
So imagine showing up in this foreign country in a big city like New York or Boston, and you sign up for the army, and they sent you to Key West. You had never heard of Key West before.
Mhm.
Tiny little island, like a couple thousand people living down here, and the fort was on the very outskirts of it. Like there was nothing around it, so you felt truly alone. Tiny little remote island, living in untamed nature. Like there's mosquitoes all around.
Mm.
You don't know if a hurricane is coming towards you. Like the
Oh,
fort's
that's
like literally
true.
on the ocean. You're just hoping that a storm like doesn't come by. Just hoping for the best.
Yeah.
People are dying around you of different disease and illness. So then if you contracted yellow fever, suffered through it, and died of it, that's why they're still there. That trauma, that suffering, that leftover their energy in there. The fort is like a perfect example of a location like that.
It makes sense. It makes total sense. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yes, very much so. Amy, you had something about the Robert the doll that she wanted to ask you that she
Oh, sure, yeah.
that she's like, I should have asked him this last time. What was that?
What do you know, Christy?
About the Robert the doll. You said you want to ask him about the Robert the doll or something.
Oh, Colleen and I both had activity after the interview. I had
No
no
way.
idea
Okay.
it has anything to do with him, but I had to get my pipes fixed.
Mm.
And
Mm.
what happened to you, Colleen? Didn't you have an experience too?
I think she's froze.
I think she's frozen.
Oh my God, it's happening right now.
Yeah.
That
There
is
you go.
Robert. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, like literally right after the podcast, it's like my sewer line had to be replaced. It was like my sewer line backed up, and then it's like all of a sudden, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And actually, my husband goes, it's Robert the doll. My husband said that, not me. I was like, okay, it's 50 years old.
My oven broke.
Yep, that's right.
I'm getting it looked at today because
Wow.
the guy took forever to come see me, but yeah. So it's been a show.
Interesting. So I mentioned the letters that people will write to
Yeah.
Robert and apologize. Sometimes the letters are like people that have never even been in the museum, and they'll write like, "Dear Robert, I saw you on like a documentary or like a YouTube video, and after that, like, you know, XYZ happened. Like, so I'm sorry for seeing you, or like I'm sorry for talking about you even."
Yeah.
I got one. This was last month in September. Somebody wrote that him and his daughter came on our ghost tour, and they made fun of Robert. They felt that they disrespected him. So they flew back to their home. I think they were from New York, and they got back to their house, and their basement flooded. Like their water heater like blew up or something, and like they went home, like their basement was like literally underwater, and they wrote to him immediately and to apologize to him. So it's hard to say, like, is he, like, does he know that right now, like, we're talking about, or like, are we speaking this into existence?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, we're putting that energy
We're
out there.
manifesting it, you know.
Manifesting it,
You
yeah.
don't really know. Like it could just be very odd timing, or he could have done something. Yeah. But you don't know. So I don't feel like I need to write a letter to him. I think I'm good. But
well, same here. I have a 50-year-old sewer line, so I'm sure it was very coincidental.
I lived in an old home that was built in 1895. So
yeah, there you go. So
we did have some people in the audience who did write a letter to him.
Oh, really?
Seeing this time on the podcast. So
okay. I must have read it to him.
So,
or me and one of my coworkers read him the letter. That's awesome.
Yeah, at least that's what they told me. Some of the people in the audience says, "Hey, do I have this address correct and everything?" I saw the episode. I want to write him a letter to say thank you to Robert the doll.
It kind of reminds me of when
it was awesome.
Nico and we did a podcast on a haunted doll, and we did a and people had so many experiences afterwards. They're like, Amy, I'm never coming to your paranormal live again. This doll messed me up, and I'm like, you don't even know. I'm going through.
I've had some activity around him the past couple of weeks. The museum just installed new lighting in their ceilings, and it's like a whole process. You have to like drill a hole into like the roof, like whenever these old places go through construction like that, like they don't like it, like it stirs them up. So yeah, around Robert, we've had a lot of physical activity.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff happens as a group when I'm with him, like with like our guests on the tour. We have chairs set up and people sit around Robert. The past couple weeks, people like little taps or pokes on their shoulders and backs. Hair has been pulled a little bit. Like someone in there is trying to get their attention, make them aware that he's whoever it is with them.
That's incredible. It's really incredible.
So fascinating, like all of it.
Chrissy,
Yeah, the stories.
I'll be the one that would go on the tour and see Robert.
yeah,
We both would. Yeah.
I would
Yeah, I would
too.
love to have you guys
I
if
also
you ever make it down this way.
When you see
Absolutely.
a haunted object, I told you this last time, like you have to have that respect.
Yeah.
And you have to go and I'm protected. I'm going to be okay. Because I feel like if you give spirits power, then that fear will feed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. And this is why we tell people, we may have touched on this last time, the idea of asking him for a photo.
Mm-hmm.
When you do that, you open yourself up to whatever's in there. And
Right.
you are quite literally giving it power over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people to be very level and even with Robert, but definitely respectful of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I always make sure to tell people to say goodbye to him when they are done that interaction. Be very firm with ending it. Kind of like a Ouija board, like close it out.
I feel like
say goodbye.
Right.
All divination, you have to close it because even if it's a Ouija board, it still has the same power as a pendulum and everything. I don't think people recognize that.
Yeah, you're tapping into something. Sometimes you don't know what's there answering you.
What you said with like the picture too. Do people really want to take that risk with everything that happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I always explain. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, Dan. I was just going to ask, have you ever put like an EVP recorder near him by chance and leave it on? Because, like, I'm sure you've heard Zach Baggins has some obviously haunted items in his museum as well. One of them is Peggy the doll. He actually has a room set up for her because she's kind of like Robert the doll as well, in the sense that when you come into the museum and you come into her room, you have to say hi and you have to say bye. And of course, there is the same situation of like asking for permission for a photograph and respecting the doll and respecting Peggy as well. But the interesting thing is that he has a voice recorder in there to capture things like 24/7. And the other part of it too is he puts a spirit box in. So I remember when I walked into the room and I was very respectful. I said, "Hi, Peggy, how are you doing today?" And the spirit box said, "I'm good." And then literally right after that, I said, and I was joking and playing with her in a sense and saying, you know, like, does Zach Baggins treat you well here? And she's like, "It's okay." Like that. I mean, literally clear as day. And we were like, they break you off into like groups of 10 when you walk through. So literally everybody was like, their mouths just dropped open and everything. And when I walked out, I said, "Bye, Peggy, until we meet again." And she's like, "My pleasure." It was like, wow. And so that's why I was wondering if you've ever done anything like that with him when people are interacting with him, to see if you get anything like on an EVP or anything on a spirit box.
Yeah. We always, when we're in there with him, I have a spirit box going. I don't leave it like a digital voice recorder out. During the day, there's people in there for the museum. So like they're like you would just pick up on people talking and stuff in there. But yeah, we always have a spirit box running in there.
That's awesome.
Usually I'll send somebody in first. Like I'll pick one person to go in there to say hi, see if they hear anything. And every so often they get like a hello or like, you know, like a response to the questions that they pose. And usually what's interesting is the voice that they hear. They describe it as being maybe like a higher pitched female voice or like the voice of a little kid. That's what they feel like is coming through.
Yeah.
It's consistently like that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
There's different ideas as to what haunts that doll. One of them is it's a little girl that died in the house where the Otto family lived. And like anecdotally, the evidence we've gotten over the years does point to that sometimes, that they hear this higher pitched sound. We use a lot of trigger objects in there too. Like we have little like toys and stuff, and like we'll put a motion detector next to it, and like sometimes it'll go off like it's a kid trying to reach for this toy, like this ball that we put out.
That's awesome. That is great to see that.
That is really cool.
I noticed that in Key West that down there's a lot of haunting places that people can visit. Besides just the Sloan Museum or the museum they work at and stuff. Is there a lot of, I mean, I know there's a lot of history there and everything. Would you say most of those histories are like hauntings of the sea or just residential hauntings, or kind of like both?
A lot of them I do think has to do with yellow fever and like just how brutal it was. So some of the houses I mentioned earlier, like the Asa Tiff Tome and Captain Geiger's house, which is now the Audubon house, like people died in there of disease. I feel like that is a concentrated dose of energy in those places. Right. So it would be a mix, but a lot of it has to do with that, especially at the fort East Martello. You know, the same thing there. There's one I didn't mention earlier. There's a couple other Civil War forts left over on the island, and they kind of have the same thing happening. There's Fort West Martello, which is the twin structure to the east where our ghost tour is. There's Fort Zachary Taylor, and about 70 miles away out in the ocean is Fort Jefferson. Do you guys know about that at all? Dry Tortugas?
No.
Oh, it's insane. It's a national park now. National Park Dry Tortugas. It's the largest masonry fortress ever built. It's on this little island in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. You have to take a ferry ride from Key West to get out there. It's like 3 hours away. You go out on this boat, and all of a sudden on the horizon, you see this massive fortress. It was used during the Civil War. And same thing, yellow fever made its way out there, like devastated the Union soldiers that were out there. But they also used it as a prison for Confederate soldiers. And a lot of those prisoners died out there of like starvation, just like malnourishment, no water, food for them. So yeah, there's a lot happening out there too. So yeah, it's a mix, but at least the more notable places where people routinely experience activity more, I do think it has to do with illness.
That makes sense. Yeah, considering as many deaths as they had occur from that. So that totally makes sense. Wow. Chrissy, did you have any more videos or pictures to show by chance? Because I have a question for Dan too. Our burning question that we've been asking all of our guests is, how do you feel about the Conjuring House? What are your thoughts and opinions on that? You're aware that it's
I'm like a month behind on the news, but I did see like a clip on like YouTube or something where Jason Hayes, they're trying to
save it. Yeah, they're trying to buy it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's been in the forefront of trying to salvage and save the house. Andrea Perrone, who is one of the children that lived in the house and experienced all of that activity, she put a plea out to him she wants him to be the gatekeeper of the house, basically, in a nutshell.
Oh, okay.
So he's been putting a GoFundMe page up. I believe it's well over 100,000 at this point now, and he's even said for every.
Yeah, I've been checking on it. I haven't checked today though.
Yeah, I didn't check it today. I saw it.
Yeah, I feel like every couple weeks I like tune into it a little bit and see what's.
It's like a saga.
A couple years ago, we were invited to participate in a Paracon up in Michigan. Yeah. And I met Cody and Satori there and Jason, but they were super kind to me, and I had like a blast talking to them. And they told me a little bit. We gave them one of our Robert dolls. And my headphone fell out. We gave them one of our little Robert dolls that we brought with us. And then a couple weeks later, they posted a video. Sam and Colby went to go investigate the Conjuring House, and in the corner was the little Robert doll. Oh cool. My God, that's the one that we gave them. And Sam and Colby saw it, and they freaked out over it because they had just visited Robert a few months before, and like they had their issues after.
Yeah, so we're rooting for him to get it. The latest update that Chrissy and I saw, we're like stalking the page and everything, but he's gonna match dollar for dollar.
More harmless, so
yeah, exactly, harmless. He's gonna match dollar for dollar up to $1 million so that he can take it. And I feel like he would be the greatest person to have it because he has the purest of intentions and making it attainable for common people to be able to go and investigate it. So we've been asking all of our guests, what their thought process was, the opinions on it, if you've been to the Conjuring House, etc. So,
it's on my list. I would love to go check it out. And yeah, it would be great if they ended up with it. Yeah, I would love to go visit.
I would love to visit too.
we're the three of us with Nico want to go. We want to go do it too.
Yeah, there's a few places on my list that I'm dying to go to. And just a couple weeks, I'm about to go to New Orleans.
Oh,
And there's
are you gonna go
there's some
the Vampire
spots I want to
Cafe?
investigate and check out.
Have you heard of the Vampire Cafe that you can go there?
Yeah, I have. They sell like blood bags,
You
right?
get invited
Mhm.
to like a little secret like bar thing. Have you heard of it?
Oh, that's cool.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you only
Okay,
do
funky.
vampires, though.
Well,
I think that's what this
no, they
is.
they select like certain
select-
people that can go, but it's really cool because it's like supposedly where like the vampires hang out.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Vampires. I think
Well,
they
I
would-
don't know
they
if
would
you
ask
have
you.
to.
Well, no, they
go
would
there,
ask. They would
but-
ask you, like, do you believe in vampires? And yes, I do. So they will
Yeah.
invite you, and then I think out of that group, then they select whoever will come or go.
Mhm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just select certain people. That's
Yeah.
what I heard. But it'd be
Oh,
really
yeah, I have to go check that out.
because a lot of
Yeah.
people has told me like a lot of like stuff that's happened to them, like experiences,
Mhm.
or just like in the French Quarter at night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bet.
And don't
I've been there once
before
before.
Sunday.
I was there a few years ago. I didn't get to do any ghost hunting, but
Yeah.
the atmosphere is there. The voodoo is in the air for sure.
Mhm.
I'm going for my bachelor party, and most of my
Oh.
friends don't want anything to do with this. Like they don't want to participate at all. But I'm gonna like force them to do an investigation with me. And
You're like you're gonna be
that's when you get the most activity,
they're
when you
not.
have people that like don't want to be there.
Right.
Their energy is like pulling them in. Yeah.
So, what do you have on the bucket list for New Orleans? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Did you say bachelor party? So you gonna get married? Oh,
Yes, I am. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah,
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
thank you.
Tell your partner, congratulations too.
Yeah.
I absolutely will. Yeah.
New Orleans though is just filled with so much
Oh,
history.
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna go do some voodoo shops?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely check that out. We'll get into the swamp
Don't
somewhere.
let anybody don't let anybody take your hair. Or your
Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. Okay.
Just
Okay, wear it up in a bun
trust
then.
me,
Gotcha.
trust me on that one.
Yeah. Just don't cut any hair.
Huh.
Don't answer your door after midnight.
Don't let anybody take any of your belongings.
If there's a welcome sign outside your door, flip it over because you don't want to say welcome on the doormat.
Right.
Mm.
I'm sure there's other stuff.
Are you gonna give him like a list of
I
stuff?
will.
not
No,
to-
that's good
I will
tips.
give
Yeah,
you
I
a
remember it.
That's right. What are some items that you have that you're going to plan for? Where are you going to investigate with the guys for your
There's
bachelor
one
party?
company I found, and it's different every night. The locations that they can have access to,
Oh, smart.
but a couple of them are like old homes from like the 1830s and 40s, and it's all in the French Quarter.
I love it.
Yeah, so it'll be like a surprise whenever night we go, like where we will be able to go see. But one of them does go upstairs of one of the voodoo shops.
Ooh.
I forget which one it is, but I feel like it's right on Bourbon Street, and they take you up
Okay.
there and they let you do a little investigation, give you equipment, you kind of hang out and do your thing.
How cool is that? I would love that. That'd be awesome. What a great trip.
That would
That
be.
sounds like an incredible trip.
I always drag my husband around too whenever we go to some place. I always like Google and go, okay, where do we want to go? Like when we went to Lake Tahoe, we drove into Virginia City and did Bob Mackey's. I think is it Bob Mackey? No, it's not
Oh,
Bob Mackey's. It's McKay's, and then we did the Washoe Billionaire Club. And
oh yeah,
that
that's where that's where they got the full body
apparition.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember
Well, and he was, and Mackey's still there. He is, I mean, I walked in and it was funny. He pegged me because I'm a medium. He pegged me and I was standing in the corner away from my husband. We got kind of separated during the tour. And as I was standing there, I heard clear as day in my ear, "You aren't welcome here. You are female. Get the F out." And I was like, okay. So I walked over to where my husband was standing and I stood next to him. He goes, "You heard something, didn't you?" And I said, "I did, definitely." I said, "I think it's Mackie or whatever his name is that, told me to get, something out." And he's like, "Oh." And then all of a sudden back in my ear again, I hear, "That's not what I said. I told you to get the F out." And I was like,
Oh,
but I had to have a conversation with him and say, "I'm sorry that, your billionaire club is being run over by people on tours and females, but I have to tell you, we do have some rights now.
Man,
We do.
Yeah, very unwelcoming. In the fort, people get told, at least like over the spirit box, they'll hear like leave and get out, and that is intimidating when you hear it. But I do feel like they're trying to look out for us in there, and people like, we're all sick, like get out of here, like you shouldn't be here, rather than like an unwelcoming. They're like, you don't want to be here, like you're gonna die, like you should
I feel like
go.
Probably also like have an attachment there with you guys,
right?
Being protective because you guys do take care of them and they see that. They see that you respect them and everything.
Yeah, very protective of the museum, protective of Robert, protective of Dan. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I can see that. I mean, yeah. Because a lot of people think that spirits are just, horrifying, scary and everything. But, most of them are just there to protect you too, to warn you,
Their intention isn't always to be malicious and to harm you.
Right.
Sometimes it is to protect you and just to look out for you. Or sometimes they just want company. They're like, hey, I'm lonely. It's like freshman year.
Yeah. Like they enjoy when we share their story and people hear about them and try to talk to them a little bit, interact, have some kind of interaction.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's not always demonic.
No,
that's true.
It's less likely to be demonic, but everybody just goes straight for that.
Well, was it Nico or was it was it David that was telling us that, or maybe it might have been Mark, I can't remember now, but they were talking about like less than 1% of there's demonic energy or something like that.
I think it was Mark. Yeah.
It was Mark. Yeah.
They
were saying, I love that statistic. I've got to go back and hear it again and write it down because it's so true, because it's everybody, the first forethought for people to go to is it's demonic, and of course there's certain mainstream shows that lean and skew towards that. So of course the general public who's not educated obviously goes straight to that concept, and as a medium I get calls all the time. There's something demonic in the house. It's like, no, it's Grandma Jim or, Grandpa Jim, or something like that. So it's
People
always interesting.
All the time too about like, they think there's an evil spirit that I need to come there and cleanse it and all this
stuff.
Yeah.
Let's try talking to it.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Right. As soon as I
people will show up at the fort, and like when they go to talk to Robert, they want that negative aspect of it to come out. Like their intention to see if like something demonic will happen to them. Like they'll be, and that's when they respond to it. Like that's when something will. Like people go there and like these stories aren't true. Like if you're real, like do something to me. They're the ones that have serious problems when they leave there. Again, like physical accidents, like struggle.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Has Robert the Doll ever been on tour like Annabelle has been?
Yeah, years and years ago, they took him to up in Tampa Bay. There was like a convention, like a Paracon. That was in like the early 2000s. And more recently, like maybe 10 years ago, they flew him to Vegas to film a TV episode with Zach Bagans. His haunted object show.
Right.
But I think that's it. Other than that, he's at the fort.
Do you think that he should just stay there because it's home to him? He should just stay there, or should he just go like Annabelle, go to different places?
It's interesting. Like anecdotally, people, especially people that say that they're sensitive, right, or like mediums, like they'll feel that Robert like wants to get out of there sometimes. Or like they'll like, I remember somebody came in once and they were like, Robert wants to see out the window, like he wants to be able to like look out. So maybe the spirit in there would like to travel around a little bit, even like just on the island, like take him like on the museums and stuff. They'll move him if a storm comes by. They'll get him out of that museum and take him to another one temporarily.
Right.
Safeguard.
But other than that, he's in there. It's also difficult to move him. Like a lot of people have to be involved with it. Like the Art and Historical Society, they have to have somebody like transport him back and forth. I have personally never seen him out of that case. in the 4 years that I've worked there. He's always been in the exact same
Same
spot. Mm-hmm.
That's good though.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, it is good, I guess. But then again, don't you kind of like feel sorry that they're in the case all the time? Because,
Sure.
it might be demonic, but then again, that's been years and years ago. Maybe they changed their ways.
Yeah.
Like people
I would
do.
say I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Oh, yeah.
And a big part of his story is that Gene Otto would often leave him looking out the window of the attic of his house. He's like way up there and had like a big view of the whole island, pretty much. Like literally like see the ocean from up there. And now he's on the ocean, but he's like enclosed in the brick fortress. It's a little different. But I do think whatever is in there does, kind of like we mentioned earlier, like they do like when people come to learn about the story and try to have a little back and forth with them.
Yeah, now it makes sense as to why he wants to look out the window, why somebody said that, because if that's what he had before was, looking out the window in the attic and he had a view of the whole island, of course that makes complete sense to me now as to why somebody would say that, Totally. Wow, that's interesting.
But the fort's a fitting place for him. It's more like a Key West history museum, things from throughout the decades that belong to like families that have lived here for a long time.
Yeah.
And the Ottos fit into that perfectly. So it was a good place for him to end up. Weirdly, I didn't know this until kind of recently. When they were designing the museum, they consulted Gene Otto to help the layout. So he was like, he played a part in like literally designing the museum. So like later in life, Gene, like he ended up playing a part in where Robert actually ended up being.
Right. Well, that is even more fitting then.
Yeah, it's perfect for him then. It's like
right.
It is truly home for him.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's interesting. Wow. That's really cool.
Wow.
Really
I like to go to Key West now because with your stories now, I want to experience.
She's like, let's go.
It's my favorite place. It is like you are in a different country in the best way possible. It is not America down here. You feel it's crazy. It's like a tropical island in our own backyard. It's so beautiful down here.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun. There's always something going on, always something to do. And you could make your vacation wherever you want. You can like sit on the beach and like do nothing, or you could like go in town and like tons of museums and stuff you can participate in, or you could just like what most people do is just like this. My headphone fell out again. You can just come down and drink for like a week straight and like not remember any of it. It's like whatever you fancy.
I would want to go to the museum.
Me too. When I go on vacation, I don't go there to lay on the beach.
Well, I might lay on the beach a little bit.
I want to.
A little bit, yeah.
I want to go around, yeah.
Like a little balance.
Well, just a little balance, yeah. But I want to go. Yeah, I want to go and see all the haunted things.
I want to see the culture.
Yeah.
I want to go see Captain Tommy's.
One last ghost story for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
This one's cool. This is one of the best museums on the island. It's the Mel Fisher Museum.
Okay.
Mel Fisher was a treasure hunter. And in the 1970s, he discovered the wreck of the Etosha. The Etosha was a Spanish, it was a part of a Spanish treasure fleet.
Right.
That sank off the coast of the Keys in the 1600s, 1620 something. This massive fleet heading from the Americas back to Spain was loaded with treasure, and this freak hurricane came out of nowhere, like sank the fleet. And one of their flagships was the Etosha, and the Etosha was loaded with gold and treasure. And the storm hit it, cracked the mast in half. The ship was just like drifted toward the Keys, slammed into the reef, and wrecked itself there. And the Spanish, for years, tried to recover some of the treasure because like how much it was. After that fleet sank, Spain went bankrupt like 5 years later, like just decimated the country. So the treasure was lost for hundreds and hundreds of years until the 70s when Mel Fisher found it. Mel Fisher discovered it, and it became like a big legal battle with the state of Florida and like who owned the treasure and stuff. But when he started to find the treasure, like all these challenges came up, and a lot of people think it was like the treasure's like literally cursed. like all the people that died in the wreck, and like the people that died and attempted to salvage it later. And the museum is amazing. All these old artifacts from late 1500s, early 1600s. That place has its own strange energy in there too. No real specific like ghost stories in there really, but you could just feel that old energy lingering around that building.
Wow.
So big recommendation if you come down. The Mel Fisher Museum is cool to see.
I will have to go. Well, before I come down, I'm gonna say, Dan, I'm coming down.
Give
me a list.
Give me a list.
Itinerary for us.
Oh, sure. Yeah, easily. Yeah, no problem.
So what did they? So did the state of Florida win on that, or how?
Eventually, Mel Fisher won most of it.
He did. Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah, and it was like millions and millions and millions of dollars, kind of like the mother lode of treasure.
I bet.
But when they discovered it, yeah, like all these problems started to come up, and they believed themselves to be cursed. There's a story that one day Mel Fisher hired a shaman to come out to the wreck site with them, and like the shaman like did like a ritual out there to like try to like cleanse them. But a lot of people died in the attempted recovery in the 70s. Mel Fisher's own son died out there.
Oh no.
He went out overnight, and in the middle of the night his boat just like freakishly capsized, and he died there at the site of the Etosha wreck.
Oh wow.
That's just strange. Like people think like that the curse of the Spanish. And this goes back to the very beginning of this when I talked about the Calusa. The Calusa, the rumor is that they cursed the Spanish after they arrived because they brought disease over and eventually like wiped out the Calusa tribe.
Right.
So people thought when the Spanish would try to profit off of the land here, that they were cursed. And so when they left the island with all this treasure, that this freak hurricane came and sank all their whole fleet.
That's incredible.
And the Calusa curse really did come true.
That's incredible.
And then Mel Fisher was worried that he started to experience the curse when he started to try to find it.
I love these stories. These are great stories for spooky October. This is wonderful.
Oh yeah.
I was telling my mom, I'm like, we have to have Dan back on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's always enjoy talking about all of this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's fascinating.
We can talk about paranormal all day.
Well, when you get married and when you do your bachelor party and get married, you gotta come back on a few months after you get married because you're still in the honeymoon stage and everything. About your adventures in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll give you guys a brief on the investigation.
Yeah,
absolutely. We would love to hear that.
Yeah,
definitely. But I just want to say thank you, Dan, for taking the time out.
Yeah,
I know you're a busy man. Well, probably more busy now since you are engaged and got plans.
Halloween. Halloween season's big for us down here.
Yeah,
I bet.
Spooky season.
Yeah, it is. I just want to say thank you though very much for coming on, and we are looking forward next time for you to come on sometime next year, so you can tell us some more stories.
Yeah, absolutely, sure thing.
Experience
maybe this spring.
Yeah, this spring. Yeah.
I'll try to clean up that audio for you guys too. It's cool to hear. Would love for people to hear the videos I see.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, because you could hear Boston very, very, very ever so slightly for sure.
Yeah, I guess however it's sent over the email, it doesn't compress well with the audio file. Yeah.
But
thank you guys so much. Yeah, thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Dan. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And for everybody in the audience, subscribe to both channels and
if you have seen Robert the Doll, comment below and tell us if you've had any experiences.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, please like the videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to come visit, we're called Ghost Key West.
There you go.
We offer tours at Fort East Martello and at the old Firehouse Museum.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to put the banner up. There you go.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yep, that's up their Facebook group and also their website that you all can go to and look at the website, book an appointment to see Robert. And I'm sure you can see Dan too as well. And if you do, just say, hey, I saw you on the podcast. So anyway, Good night, everybody. Oh, she
Good
said
night.
good day, everybody.
Yeah, good day.
Yeah. Have a good day,
Happy
everybody.
Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, happy
Yes.
Halloween. Okay, bye guys.
Nice to talk to you guys. Bye.